Hey guys, one of the crew here at ATVstore has got a Polaris General 1000. So it's we've done a few things to this before in a couple of videos, but at the moment it's just a bit slow on startup. I believe it's got a fuel pump pressure problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a complete all balls fuel pump in it. So we like to get out of the office and do these things as well. You know, you guys are the ones that buy parts and fit in them, but when we get out, we like to touch the parts, feel them, see how they work, and it helps us help you guys. All right, on most Polaris models, the fuel pump module is under the passenger seat. So what I've done is I've pulled the passenger seat out. There's a little cover that covers the fuel tank up. I've pulled that out. So I've got the brush and the air blower. I've blown a bit of the dust and the dirt and debris away from it. So what I'm about to do now is I'm about to unclip the fuel pump. There's a big rubber cap that sits on a lot of them. I'm going to pull that off. And then it's going to be time to undo the nut to actually get the fuel pump out of the tank. So you'll see here, there's actually a fuel line that goes to the top of the pump. They've got a Polaris clip on them, you know, specialist clip, which is great. So you've got to push it back. I like to have a rag ready because, you know, a little bit of fuel is going to come out, so make sure you move all your bits and pieces out of the way. Push the clip back. Usually these will come off pretty easy. A bit of pressure. Ah, there you go. See, a bit of fuel comes out, but it's not going to keep coming. So yeah, we want to clean all the fuel up, get everything out of the way. Because the next step is we're going to be grabbing our wrench and our strap here for getting this out. Just want to put the line up out of the way, so I'll just put a zip tie around here. Make life a bit easier for me. So now there is a special tool for getting these nuts undone. We don't have one here. Polaris do make one. You know, we don't have one here. So what we actually are going to use is an oil filter strap. They usually work for undoing all this sort of stuff. So pretty self-explanatory, these. It was a bit tight to get the top cap undone, but we have managed to get it. So now I can do most of it by hand. There we go. So we're going to get the nut out of the way. You got a seal. We'll be replacing a lot of this stuff as well. You can reuse some of these items, but we will be replacing them because they come with a new module. So then you just be careful when you pull the module out of the tank because it does have a filter on the bottom of it. There's a lot of fuel. I want to try and let it go back in. So just got to maneuver it around a bit, try and find a happy spot. And there you go. So that's the old fuel pump module. As you can see, there's nothing looks like it's wrong with it. If they ever do have a fuel pressure problem, it is in the actual pump generally, or the little regulator that they have inside here as well. So this is the fuel filter. This is crucial to having these clean. You can actually see this one is quite dirty. So the pickup where it goes into the pump, there is a lot of stuff around there and it's very dirty. So it's great that it's doing its job. I would say it's definitely slowing down the fuel supply. So you don't want to drop anything in the fuel tank. So what I have done is I've just put a quick rag over there, you know, while we get the new filter out and the pump and set it up. So here we go. We've got a complete all balls fuel pump module. These are a great setup. They're a complete bolt-in module. Just everything you need to do it, as you'll see. So there's the new cap and the seal and everything that we need. Here's the most important part. So this is the whole assembly. You can see here, guys, this is the perfect replacement for OEM setup. All right, so we're going to remove the rag we put there to cover up the fuel. So when you're putting it in the tank, you just want to be careful. You want to make sure you don't get anything folded as far as the, you know, the filter or anything there. So you just feed it all in nicely. Yeah, there we go. So it all sits down there nice and flush. So then we're going to open up the new cap and the seal, which is a great idea. So everything's here, it's got the seal. As you can see on the cap, there is an arrow here. So it shows where you can line it up with the threads on the actual fuel tank. So if you have a look down here, you can see that. And then what we'll do is we'll line them up. And then I also like to put a bit of lubricating spray on it because plastic on plastic, it can be quite tight when you try and tighten it up. Alright guys, you can see there, the cap can be quite tight to get on. It needs to be firm. You don't want to over tighten it because it is plastic, but what I like to do is, once I've done it up, you know it's firm enough, or you think it's firm enough, just make sure your fuel pump isn't moving. So I've got no movement in the fuel pump side to side, which is great. So now I know it's all good for me to put the lines and everything back on. Alright, so gonna put the fuel line back on. So you've got a little cover on here, need to move off. Zip tie, which was just holding the line out of the way to make my life a bit easier. So bring it back down, get it lined up, all the way on as far as it can go, and then the clip's got to go back in place. There we go, nice and tight, it's not going anywhere. So and then we've got to put power back to it or the pump's not going to work. So plug that in, nice and not tight, tuck it back out of the way, and off we go. If you've got any excess fuel laying around anywhere, just dry it off. Give a little bit of air blow or a rag, get rid of it. It's going to dry up pretty quick in there. So now we've got the fuel pump module in there, what we need to do is we need to get some fuel through it. So it's a brand new pump, no fuel's been through there. So I like to turn the key and prime it up about 4 or 5 times. So you just turn the key on, you'll hear your fuel pump prime, do it a few times. So when I do this, you'll actually hear the pump turning on. And I can already tell just by doing this that the sound of the fuel pump turning and priming is a lot stronger than the old one was, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime it up one more time. I'm actually going to start it, just give it a quick run, make sure everything's working as it should before we go putting all the covers and the seat and everything back in. Alright guys, there you have it. We fitted the new fuel pump to this Polaris General. It is starting a lot nicer and running a lot smoother, so we're really happy with the outcome. You know, we've got a range of fuel pumps and fuel pump rebuild kits on our website, so jump onto ATVstore.com.au, use our product fitment finder and find the correct one for your vehicle.